life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And welcome back to the segment In the Kitchen with the wisest man in pickleball, Greg Wise.
I forgot to change my tag.
That's all right.
It's all good.
We've been talking about a little bit about pickleball, and obviously at the 2024 PGA show, we will be checking out some pickleball and having some interviews and some booths and some highlights from pickleball.
Yep.
And Bill the Golf. I'm actually pretty excited to try this out. We haven't yet hit a pickleball. And quick question: is there actually pickleball companies that create certain balls?
Oh yeah,
like golf balls.
There's a whole lot of different ones, and each of them have their own little niches, I should say. There's indoor pickleballs, outdoor pickleballs, but then a pickleball, the way it gets beat up, only lasts so long. There's a company out there that's now guaranteeing that they'll last a year.
Wow.
A
pickleball that lasts a year?
Yeah.
Now, being that you play, do the balls get like scuffed up? Like back in the day when we played with wiffle balls, and that's the only thing that I've never seen the pickleball, but it looks like a wiffle ball. Is it similar like that?
Once they get a little bit of texture to them, of course, a golf ball, you want as shiny and clean as you can.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a roughed up pickleball, you're going to be able to spin that ball a whole lot different. It reacts differently on the court.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like tennis on clay, and you spin it, it's going to move away from you really fast if you're not prepared for it. So
when you start,
it's like a giant table tennis thing.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it's like you're
playing tennis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, badminton on steroids combined with ping pong, and it's all a mixture of some different sports, but it's its own little thing. It's I have unique entity.
I have done some research, and found
that could be scary.
I know, right? And found a guide how to play pickleball. 9 simple rules for beginners. And this is according to pickleheads.com. Keen to learn how to play pickleball? You're not alone. Pickleball is now the fastest growing sport in America, and it's a ton of fun. Whether you're an absolute beginner or a seasoned player looking to refresh their grip on the game, they've got you covered at pickleheads.com with their quick guide. And if you can follow these 9 simple rules, and Greg, maybe you could add to that, and you'll be out playing in no time. Now, what do you need to play pickleball? And before you start, you're going to need durable pickleball paddles. So don't settle for those cheapy things that's going to break down in a couple months. A local pickleball court, pickleball balls to play with. And by the way, Bill, there is pickleball courts indoors here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You'll also want to wear the right clothing. It's just like golf, folks. Whether it's getting your hands on a pair of the best pickleball shoes or some brand new socks, investing in pickleball-specific clothing can help boost your performance. Now, pickleball is played on a badminton-sized court, 20 foot by 44 foot. I think Greg covered this a couple weeks ago, a few weeks back. The net is 36 feet high, and the sideline
36 inches high.
Oh, they got just one line there. Okay, 36 inches. Wow, 36 feet. That's a high. Yeah, you're right.
That's a high fence. Good luck.
The net is
that volley.
36
I want to
inches.
see that indoor court.
Yeah, right. 36 inches high in the sideline and 34 inches at the center. Pickleball is most often played as doubles with 4 players, 2 on each team. Though singles is possible as well. Each player stands to the right and left of the center line. You can hit 2 types of shots. Ground strokes hit off the bounce, often from the baseline. That's what they call ground strokes. Volleys hit out of the air from a position closer to the net. Each side has a 7-foot. And Greg, cut me off at any time when you want to chime in here.
Okay, you're off. No, I'm just kidding.
Each side has a 7-foot area called the non-volley zone or the kitchen, where no player can hit volleys from. Not even a toe can touch the kitchen line during a volley. More on that later. Now that we have the court set up, let's get playing. Rule number 1. Each rally begins with a serve. The pickleball game in each rally starts with the serve. The player on the right side of the court facing their opponent starts to serve. You serve diagonally to your opponent into the right or left service area. The serve must clear the kitchen, including the line to count. Rule number 2. Your serve must be underhand. A pickleball serve must be hit with an underhand stroke or a backhand with contact below the waist. Your arm must move in an upward arc when you strike the ball. You can either hit the ball out of the air or drop the ball on the ground and hit it. The goal of the pickleball serve is to put the ball in play. This is quite different from a tennis serve, where the goal is to serve overhand aggressively to win a point. And they have a nice little video there on how the serve should be done. Anything on the serve there, Greg Wise?
Except the only thing it should be, in my opinion, because you play a lot of pickleball for friendship and, well, health reasons too.
Yeah.
But number 1 rule going onto a court, you're going to have fun. It's not like tennis, golf. You're going to be spinning, turning, twisting, having a good time. And if you don't have fun on a pickleball court, you're losing out.
Yeah.
I just want to abuse people.
Yeah, that's it. Hit the ball at them. And the little difference is that serve, there's as much strategy in putting in a serve in that opponent's square as there is in golf.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. They're talking about that serve from what he read. You have to hit the ball below your waist.
Yep.
Right? And you have to have your paddle upwards. So
you're swinging up at it. But you got to make sure
here's the thing, Bill. I don't think the way you described it, I don't think you have to come upward from that. I think you could come underhand from the side as well.
Yeah, you're going to come underhand and you're actually swinging up at the ball. But the contact with the ball has to be below your belt.
Waist.
Your belt below your belt.
So if I put my belt all the way up here, because I have an Anson belt, I'll just strap it right here.
Yeah, if you want to play Urkel, he's going to have an overhand.
I see nothing wrong with that. So when you hit this ball on the upward side below your waist, which I mean that has to take some getting used to, because I used to play paddle. So when I played paddleball on Orchard Beach and stuff like that, that's a totally different animal. So now I'm going to be trying to actually not hit past anybody, hit it hard. I just got to loft it up. Is there like any strategy that you use to?
Well, if they're playing deep, you're going to try to serve as deep and hard as you can to get them backing away. And the minute you get them setting where they're backing away, you lay short ones in. So they're immediately going back, because the next rule you're going to talk about probably, and I don't know that list of rules, is once you get a bounce, it has to bounce on the opponent's side as a serve.
Okay.
when that opponent hits it back to you, you actually have to let it hit the ground first. So you have 2 bounces on a serve and return before
Okay.
you can start to volley in the air.
So when I hit the ball, I'm serving, right?
Yep.
I have to hit it to the other side of the net.
Yep. You're
The
crossing
following-
it diagonal.
And
And
then
then if I'm over there, I'm playing it back, but you have to let it bounce before you can hit it
okay.
on a
So
return.
do you have to let it bounce if I'm serving?
Yes, I have to let it bounce as well. So there's got to
Okay.
be 2 bounces, one on each side before Wild and Crazy takes
So
over.
2 bounces, and then you don't have to worry about it bouncing anymore. You can hit it in
The only
air.
thing you have to worry about is getting in that kitchen without it bouncing in the kitchen.
So you can't go in the kitchen though. If you go in the kitchen, that's a no-no.
If the ball bounces in the kitchen after that first 2 bounces, then you can go into the kitchen to get it. Because those are called dink shots. So you're trying to slow the
Trying to
pace
get
of the
that
game
point.
down.
Right.
Yeah.
And that allows you to go, once the ball bounces in there, you can go in to retrieve it. You
So
can't.
in other words, you cannot anticipate it going in the kitchen.
Exactly.
You have to wait for a bounce to actually enter the kitchen.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So can I hit it like, because I don't know how big this
We're
court
not
is.
even sure if you can hit it.
Oh, I'll hit
Whoa,
it.
whoa,
I'll hit
whoa!
it. I'll take you down, mister.
So,
I will take
so
you down.
here's the deal, gentlemen. At the PGO,
PGO?
they have-
Are you going to a
What's
different
PGO?
show? What's the PGO?
yeah, well, it's the other organization that's there. There are so many golfers that have taken up pickleball for exercise and eye-hand coordination, which affects the golf swing entirely. The pickleball associations are part of the PGA of America show in Orlando.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They will actually have a full-size pickleball court set up in that auditorium.
Yeah.
So we'll actually video Biggs hitting it, attempting to hit pickleball.
Oh, you got jokes today.
I love that.
Well, they did invite us. There is something about an active pickleball court, and I was actually going through the exhibitor list, and the list goes on and on and on for Diadem Pickle. They got clothing line.
Oh yeah,
Skechers is like one of the, I guess it claims to be the official footwear sponsor of every major pickleball league. So I'm wondering
that won't last too long.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's some competition coming.
Yeah.
I want to see how that works out.
Hey, we have a couple more minutes, and we're only on rule number 3. But rule number 3: each point continues until a fault. After the serve, gameplay continues until a fault is committed. And Greg, you mentioned what some of that fault can be. Fault ends the rally in pickleball. There are 3 basic type of faults. The serve does not clear the kitchen, including the line. So if it hits the line, it's still a fault.
Okay.
A shot is hit out of bounds, landing behind the baseline or outside the baseline. A shot is hit into the net. So those are 3 basic types of fault. Note, there is no let in pickleball, meaning if a serve hits the net, there's no redo. Not like tennis.
You lose the point. You got to move on.
The ball is played as it lands, so long as it lands within the service area. They'll also cover 2 more advanced fault laters in the rules on pickleheads.com. Rule number 4. We talked about this a little bit, so I'm not going to go deep into it. You can't volley in the kitchen. In other words, Bill, what you're talking about, you can't anticipate the ball going in the kitchen.
So you can't run into the kitchen before the ball actually hits into the kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why this rule? Well, once you play, you'll see players at the net have a big advantage. They can hit any ball high enough with a downward smash. This shot puts opponents immediately on the defensive. Pickleball's inventors learned that standing right at the net made volleying too easy. It was an unfair advantage and took the fun away for the defenders at least. And so the kitchen was born. You can hit ground strokes in the kitchen. Greg, you touched on that. Once the ball hits in the kitchen and bounces, you can go in the kitchen, and it's called, like you said, Greg, dinks. Rule number 6. The ball must bounce on both sides before either team can volley. Before any player can hit a shot out of the air. A volley. The ball must bounce once on each side. After it bounces once on each side, you can hit the ball out of the air. This means if your partner is serving and you start up in the kitchen, at the kitchen area, you're in a dangerous position. Why? Because the returning team can hit a shot right at you, and if you react with a volley, that's a fault. You lose the point. Greg, you want to kind of touch on that?
Yeah. If typically when you start your serve, like Bill and I are playing, I would be back at the baseline with him for strategy wise, because if he's going to drive it all the way back as a returner, I would try to drive it all the way back to the baseline where he just served from, because that puts them further back in the court. And I'm going to want to take that kitchen line on that
third shot,
the receiver side,
right,
to be ready. So when they play that back, I'm already there and my partner's already there. So we're going to try to put you back to the baseline as far back as we can for that second bounce.
Makes sense.
Because it has to bounce twice before you.
It has to bounce twice. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, Bill?
Makes sense to me. Stay out of the kitchen.
The interesting part is on the faults, there is a fourth one. Because let's say you and Bill are on teams and you're just standing by the net, not paying attention, and I hit you with a serve, that's a fault. It's my point.
Oh, okay. So
if
you're not
paying attention, you get hit by a ball, that's a dead ball. It's my point.
Wow. Now, do you score only when you serve, or
well, it's a great. You know what? Great question, Bill, because it segues into rule number 7.
All right.
In pickleball, you only win points on your serve.
Nice.
And you continue serving until you lose a rally. After winning each point on your serve, you switch sides with your partner and serve to the other opponent. Now, what happens if you lose the point on your serve? Well, they'll cover that in rule number 8. Both partners serve in a turn. In each turn, both players in doubles get the opportunity to serve. And in pickleball scoring, you'll hear players announce 3 numbers: 0-0-2. What the heck is that third number? It tracks which of the 2 players on a team has the serve. Let's say the game is tied at 3-3. If you start the serve from the right side, remember, you'll announce 3-3-1. So everyone knows you are the first player in the rotation serving. If you lose the rally, the ball doesn't go to your opponents. It goes to your teammate, who will announce 3-3-2. Then if your partner loses the serve, a side out occurs in which the ball returns to your opponents, who again announce 3-3-1. Greg, want to touch on that?
Yeah, that's probably one of the most confusing parts about pickleball is the scoring side, because what you're announcing when you're about to serve is your score first, the opposing score second, and then what level you are for the first serve or the second serve in the group. Okay,
that makes more sense. Yeah.
So when you announce a serve, when you announce a score, and you've got the ball ready to serve, you've got 10 seconds to make the serve, or it's a fault and you give up that serve. If you forget to give the score, it's a fault. You give up your score. You give up the ball, the serve. So there's pretty strict guidelines for how you call out a score. You can get some help from people. So if we lost the point right then, it goes over to you. And if it was if I was calling out 3-1-1 and then my opponent said 3-1-2 because they're a second player, we lose that point. It goes over to you. You're now announcing 1-3-1 because you got to give the server score first, then the opponent score, and then you're serving.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
So
that makes a little
just
more
always
sense.
remember, whichever side you're on. So let's just say it's me and you. It's got to be our score first, then the opponent's score, and then the server number.
I'm changing my label right now. Why is this man in pickleball?
Bill the pickleball father. That's going to be me.
All right. Final rule.
Pickle dad.
Final rule we're going to cover here is, well, first team to 11 points wins, but you must win by 2 points. So there you go.
Gotcha.
So someone like table tennis, you must win by 2. In tennis, you got to win by 2.
Yeah.
And they do have ambulances standing by most all the locations.
Oxygen.
So the information, it's some really good information they have at pickleballheads or pickleheads.com, and you just click on guides on how to play pickleball. So
I'm going to start watching it on TV.
Oh,
that's what I'm going to do. They show it on TV a lot. I'm going to start or YouTube.
I've been looking for it. I have not seen any competitions on TV.
There's stuff on TV. I'm going to watch.
Look at the tennis channel and search on tennis channel for pickleball, and they show it there.
Okay.
And they show some national coverage, and you're going to be amazed at how fast they can react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that does it for Big's Golf Talk and Pickleball Talk here on BGT 2.0. Thank you. In the kitchen with the wisest man in pickleball, Greg Wise, and for Amanda Sensor, who is off today, the golf diva, for Greg Wise, Bill Cuevas, the golf father. I'm John Quick, Big's Golf Talk, Big John Quick. And if you have any questions, any concerns, be sure to visit our website, www.bigsgolftalk.com, BIGGS golftalk.com. Until next time, everybody, God bless.
And you matter.